everyone, it's Cathy Zielske. Welcome back to my channel and the craft/dining room. Today's video is part of a hop on Instagram to celebrate Pride and all of the LGBTQ+ crafting community. I am so excited about the cards I'm sharing today, so stick around to see a gorgeous rainbow Pride card coming up next. So here's a look at the products I'll be using today, and I absolutely love this Pride die. It's similar to some of the other dies that I've done with the chunky style, and there's a shadow layer as well. So that's the die, and then I also designed some sentiment strips in 2 sheets, all designed around Pride. All of the wonderful greetings, it gets better, you are loved, I love who you are, we are always in your corner, I am always in your corner, so proud to call you daughter, so proud to call you son. Important sentiments to support the folks we love. So I'm gonna do a classic rainbow, right? I'm using red. I never use red, but my nails were a little inspired today to use red. So I've got a paintbrush, and I've got a piece of Tim Holtz watercolor cardstock. And in fact, if I play my cards right, I can create 2 Pride cards out of 1. So let's get started with our painting. So this is so easy to do. We're just gonna smush down our cube colors onto our little, this is my Art Impressions palette, which I really love. It's just so easy to use and so easy to clean. Okay, my Twisted Citron. I'll put this a little over here so maybe it shows up on camera. I'm zoomed in a bit. And the final color is going to be Peacock Feather. So just a classic rainbow. And yes, I know there's no purple. I will put something up in the corner to prove my love of purple. I have some clean water in a little jar, and I have some more clean water, which will, I think, turn into be my dirty water. But I'm gonna wet my brush down here. And you know, before I get started though, I want to have this die nearby because I want to make sure, let's just go like that, that I accommodate the widths of each letter. You know, I probably could get more colors into this rainbow, but again, I'm just keeping this very, very simple. And I'm going to do 2 messy swashes. Pick up a little more clean water, right? That. And make sure that I can get 1 and 2. Yep, that's what I'm looking for. So just gonna do that, right? Just a messy swap of color. Pouncing it down. Okay, that's dirty. Let's pick up some clean. And let's move on to color 2, which is the spiced marmalade. And I'm probably gonna punch these up as well, because right now, you know, when you first put them down and you add your water, you get a little, a little wash there. And I want them to be a bit bolder. Pick that up there, like that. Now, I am not bothering to dry between, because I don't care. You know, it's totally fine. And actually, if I take some of the water off the brush and then pick it up, it will be darker, right? So that's what we're gonna do here. Do a little overlap into the red, just kind of go back and forth, right? Nothing too heroic, but simple. And pick up our gorgeous mustard seed. Such a pretty yellow. Potching it down, overlapping a little, getting it up there, and adding in our gorgeous yellow. It's funny because I've done this technique so many times. It's so easy. And for people who, well, like me, who may not think you're a great painter, right? Your skills in painting may be a little lacking. This is just a fun way to create any sort of background or any sort of area that you want to die cut, right? It's gorgeous. Now look at here. I'm going to bring in my Twisted Citron. Someone said to me recently, Cathy, Twisted Citron is always kind of hard to get it. I always end up having to smush down extra. And they said you should use the Reinker. Well, I have the Reinker. I just forgot to grab it because I thought that would have been fun to try. Or you just dab down your Reinker instead of the pad itself, because it's just such a beautiful color, but you get such a deeper saturation of Twisted Citron from that Reinker. All right, let's keep going though. And we will bring in the bold and beautiful Peacock Feathers. It's such a pretty color. Okay, just kind of come up here. And again, you just potch it down, overlap a little. It just doesn't have to be perfect. And that's what I love about this, you know, just even just doing that. Let's go back and forth. No fancy technique needed. No fancy brush, right? This is not a fancy brush. It's just a nice, affordable paintbrush. And that is what we're doing. True story, when I ordered my Reinker, look at my label's on upside down. All right, I'm gonna shake it up. It was closer, well, I just had to get up and move. All I'm gonna do here is just put one daub there. That's it, okay? And now that I know, oh, let's get some clean water. I think this is gonna be a, oh, that's a potchin. That might be a little much. Is that? No, it is Twisted Citron. Okay, I can see how intense this is, so I think I still need to water it out a bit. And let's bring that back in there. Oh, that's so much brighter. Look at that. Now, granted, you know, when you're doing your pad, of course, it soaks into your pad. And I did add a lot of water to that, but that really punches it up. So whoever gave me this tip, thank you, because that looks great. And I can just kind of overlap here a little like that. Okay, get some clean water. I even got a little blue in there, and that's fine too. I'm going to come back over here and just go a little bit over my yellow like that. All right, that is my panel from which I will cut my prides 1 and 2. So I'm going to let that completely dry. I'll set that aside and I'll actually start cutting some of my outlines. I have my Spellbinders machine out, my Platinum 6, and these are still joined together, and that's totally fine because what I'm going to do, I am going to cut a shadow layer for this. I'm not sure if I'm going to use it yet, but the first part of this is just to cut a white outline. And then I'm going to cut, I think I will have to break these apart because, let's run this through. All right. Because I want to cut out just a few more individual pride words so I can build up the greeting outline. Okay, so let's pop you out. And again, oh, there's a little pop in there. If you don't have a craft pick, I think this is, one of these days I'm going to do a video of my top favorite tools. This is definitely one of them because it does, well, it does a lot of things. And this is one of the things it does that I love, which is helps you to get out your dies. And all of the letters are going to pop out here, but I'm going to keep the outlines because those need to stay with the letters. So this will all be separated, and I'll go ahead and cut out more and reserve the outlines. So I'll do 2 more of these. So now I've got my 3 pride words and centers plus a little shadow layer. And now my little piece here is feeling pretty good. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to cut out my fills so that, well, and again, I'm going to get 2 out of 3. Look at all that green. I'm going to go ahead and cut this out off camera. And I'm going to use my Gemini Junior for this because sometimes I think with the watercolor cardstock, it's a little hard for me to crank it through. But I'll go ahead and I'll reserve all the fills and the outlines because you can also use those for other cards as well. All right, so now I'm only going to show you one right now. That guy there, I'm going to save that. And, well, let's see, I'm just going to pop out the fills for now. Pop you out like that. So that's the fill. And then of course in here, I have this extra. Well, it might take me a minute to get them out. Now I also have an outline. Got options here. So now it's time to decide about the actual design of the card. And here's what I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I am going to put this on to have a white background. Sometimes I like that, but I might want to do, you know, I might actually want to do a vellum background for this. I always try to incorporate vellum and then I never use it. So let me cut one of these out of vellum and see if I can make it work. So I cut this out and it got a little, can you see that impression there? It kind of looks a little wonky. Sometimes for this, I will take, and let's see if I can move that out of the way. I'll take my Teflon bone folder and you can just go over areas that get maybe a little too impressed or wonky. And it really is a great tool. This little, the flat side of it helps you to smooth things out. It works for fussy cutting too, like just for cutting edges and making them smooth. I actually think it could be really fun on vellum, but the reason I have to make that commitment is because I'm gonna lay all of this in first before I start stacking up these outer outlines, because it's gonna be easier to do that way. So I'm going to grab some of my spray adhesive and I'm going to add the first layer to, let's get you in here. Going to add in the first layer onto this with spray adhesive, but I'm going to do this in a little box that I keep off camera. So let me spray that and I'll hold my breath so I don't breathe in the fumes, and I'll start gluing these things together. Little tricky, but we can do it. Gonna let go, and then I'm going to just come down here and just wiggle that up a little like that. How does that look? Does that look good? We lined up in there pretty well. I'm going to flip it and just give it a nice press, okay? Because that will allow this to adhere. And honestly, I'm going to stick a brick on this for a second. Press it down. I will use my Connect glue for this to add the fills. Just do tiny, 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 tiny dots. Just get you lined up and pop you into the frame like that. And then I'll pop in the D. Or it's not a D. You can see why I said that, right? How cute is that? First one's in place. And now I'll just, go through and do them all. All right, let's pop you in. Look at that. Oh, so cute. So now I've got glue, spray glue on the back of this guy. And I will just come back in. And you can kind of see the reason why I wanted to do the first layer is because I think it can be trickier to do the fills with this once you have your layers stacked. But that looks good, doesn't it? We're creating some dimension here. Spray mount is something that takes me back. I'm a woman of a certain age, and when I started my career as a graphic designer, it was right in the year 1989. And in 1989, we were still doing paste up. Old school paste up, where you actually would print things out and put them on like these long sheets of paper, and then you'd photograph those, or they'd somehow get turned into something you print. And my very first job, we got Macintosh computers, and I left paste up and learned electronic publication. But during that time, we had this stuff, what was it called? I can't remember what it was called, but it was basically by, let's get the ones that aren't so gross. It was by 3M, I believe, and it was the most noxious spray you will so we used to try to, spray it in these boxes and then hold our breath as long as we possibly could. All right, so 3 stacked layers are in there, so you can see that little dimension, how it has a little dimension. And that is my greeting it's my die all set up, but I have an idea. This seriously could be so fun to stencil on some hearts, and that could be in the center. Oh yes, do you know what? I think I'm gonna do this because I think this is actually cute and would be really fun, and I can kind of pick up the color. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to have it kind of be over a bit, right? Because I want it to be a little bit in the center. I am going to mask this, right? Because, that didn't do very well there, did it? Because I don't want, let's pick that up real quick. I don't want my ink to spill into the card in a way that wouldn't make sense. And I do want the smaller ones like that, because I think I'm going to go all the way over to the back, right? That'd be fun. All right. I might have to do it at the top too. Okay, like that. And I'll do just a little bit here, because I think having little guys that cascade over to the back side is actually kind of fun. So here's the thing. I have all of these colors in distress, right? So how do I want to do it? Do I want to start with red and work my way up? I think I do. Well, it's hard to know, so let me grab some blender brushes. I have my blender brushes here. These are just my basic ones, and I use these a lot with my distress. I feel like if I'm going to try to get all these colors on the front of my panel, which I think is going to be tricky, Or do I want it to go red? Ooh. What if I did red, orange, yellow, and followed the pattern of the actual, you know what, that's what we're going to do. And we're just going to go up. So I'm going to follow the pattern that I have already set in my card itself. Spice marmalade. I want it to be nice. I want it to be nice. You know, just coming up, coming up. This is really, you know, this is sometimes in the process of designing cards, and actually I don't think we're going to have a lot of room up there for, I just never know where it's going to end up, you know, and that's okay. Sometimes you change your mind, right? And of course I won't know until I reveal if this looks good, if it looks okay. All right, let's load up Citron, getting you loaded up, okay, and bringing you up. And I'm just coming right off the edge of the paper here. And I'll leave a little room, of course, for peacock feathers. I'm going to get that little bit there, but not a lot. I think that would be fine, right? Because then it's going to be right on the edge. And the other thing, too, we're just doing this right on the card base. I'm going to go right back over this a little with the green, just to create a nice blend. I think I might have gone a little too light with the peacock, but maybe not. I'm going to transition that green a little bit. Right there. Right there. Taking you up. And you could, you know, mask off with cardstock too. You don't need to waste precious Post-it tape, but I just sometimes do. Oh, look at that card front. Isn't that fun? And then we're going to pop our pride right on top of it. And I'm actually going to pop this up. I think this is looking fantastic. I am just feeling the love for this card. I'm so glad I did that. I really didn't know. So I'll flip this over. And isn't that cute how the hearts come over onto the back? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Because what I'm going to do here is just pop a few in strategic places. Right on. You don't need a ton because this is all held together with the vellum. So all I need to do is just put a few, I think this is probably enough. And what this will do, it's just going to add that little extra dimension. Look, this so much. I want to pop this on here, but I don't want it to take away from the greeting. So let's grab my paper trimmer here. This is my little tip for trimming. You drop down the guard right on the furthest most letter, right there. Hold that in place and cut. And again, cut. So now I have this beautifully centered and even from side to side greeting strip. I've taken the backers off all of these and I'm just going to put a little dollop of glue on each one because foam squares stick like a mother and you don't want to mess it up, right? You know, you're in the home stretch, you're rounding third. You don't want to end up, you know, coming into home plate and you trip over your shoes. And I don't know, no idea why I'm doing baseball metaphors, but so here's what we're going to do. Let me get my one. Remember the one that doesn't have goop on it? And I just keep the little guy on it. So that's how I know. I know this is fascinating stuff, but I'm going to pick you up in an area that does not have that. Side to side, centered. And before I press it down, that's where you bring up your T-square. Get that right. And that, see how I can wiggle like that? That is the beauty of having the liquid adhesive on the back. And then you set and you walk away. Like that. Do I want to take that wonderful strip that I just did and pop it somehow onto this? Because I think if I don't want to put it below, although that's not bad. I thought initially I was going to pop it right smack dab in the middle, but I don't like that either. I actually think sometimes you just have to say, I'm not going to force it. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to free range stamp on the inside. I've just got a little comfort block here and I've put the greeting, you know, right there and I'm picking it up, doing it that way rather than just placing it down so I don't mess it up. I want to show you this because I've been doing this a lot lately when it comes time to stamping on the inside. I think this is really cool, this Make Art Station by Wendy Vecchi. Because you've got your card, right? And I'm gonna, oh my gosh, do you see the rainbow? Okay, if that isn't a sign, I don't know what is. I have a kaleidoscope in my office that one of my best friends sent me. Well, this isn't my office. It's the craft/dining room. And when the sun hits just right, because I have no blinds, I get rainbows everywhere. So that was our bonus rainbow. So you open up your card and you can hold your card completely open with the magnets. And then you have this nice firm surface to stamp on. But because I am not very good with the free range stamping, and free range stamping for me is just not using a MISTI tool, I do like to practice. So I'm gonna come over here and just go, oh, that looks pretty good. I'm just not good with the free range, but that's nice, right? Okay, I'm gonna hold our breath, hold it with me, because hopefully I won't mess it up. I'm just gonna pop this in like that. I love who you are. The inside of the card has been done. Again, I love the Make Art Station for this purpose as well, just because it's so nice for holding in your card open while you stamp. Let's get ready. Let's pick it up and wait for it. Okay. Boop, boop. Didn't want to come off. These are a little more cuppy. And I find, oh, let's get enough in there though. Oh, that's not enough. There we go. Boop. Kind of just press that a little. People ask what the little tippy side is on the Crystal Katana, and it's literally just for that. You can, use it to press things down, level them out a little. Let's go. Boop. Boop. Get that right there and just kind of press. Boop. Nice. Okay. Just a little cascade. Boop. And the last one, let's get it right off the edge there. Now see, that's a little on the boop. Oh, it did work. And then just kind of level it down on the glue. And that is the finished card. So even though I changed my mind at the end and didn't pop on that sentiment strip, I love how this turned out. So I hope this inspires you to check out the entire release at Simon Says Stamp this month, but also celebrate who you are. Let's celebrate love, and I will see you back here with another card project soon. I wanted to show you what I did with that leftover outline piece. So instead of cutting a second fill, I just cut a strip out of this using one of my sentiment labels, and then I took the outline and put that on the white shadow layer, right? And then stacked a couple layers underneath it to pop up the prettiness. I haven't put any shine on that yet. I don't know if I will, but those are the two cards for today. This one, I just wanted to show you what you could do with the leftovers. So thanks again for watching. I'll see you back here with another card project soon. Thanks so much for watching today. I would love to have you become a subscriber to my YouTube channel. And if you do subscribe, be sure to hit the gray bell below the video so that you don't miss the next time I post. Here are a couple other videos that you might be interested in watching. Thanks so much and have a great day.